Hey everyone, it's Allison from OnlineTeacherAllison.com, where stay at home moms and dads go to learn how to earn an income at home on their own time by teaching online. And today I have a really exciting video from you. What you're about to see was actually recorded for a podcast episode for my podcast, Simple Tools for the Online Teacher. And today you're going to hear from Niki from Kids Anxiety Solutions. And in today's video, she talks all about how to recognize anxiety in a child, how to help manage anxiety within a child. And I gotta tell you, I've used some of these techniques on myself and it works well. Some of it's just fun to do with your kids. She talks about things like blowing bubbles and breath work and meditation, and there's sure to be something for anybody in here. So I don't wanna keep you, I wanna get to all this goodness. So I hope you love it. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. On today's episode, I have Niki, and she focuses all on children's anxieties and how you can help manage it and how you can help them learn to manage it as well. And today she has tons of fun and relevant ways you can implement it online. So, Niki, why don't you start off and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, well, thanks so much for having me on. Um, so I'm Nikki. I was a school teacher for 15 years, and I really loved being with the kids, but connecting with them sort of on a deeper level. I loved the curriculum, obviously, but I just found that I wasn't able to connect with them just through, the subjects alone. I was working a lot in inner city schools, and a lot of those kids just had, a lot of blocks, and they needed more than just, how to add and subtract and read and write. So I started, looking at different things there. And then I became a yoga teacher. And because of my background with kids, I ended up teaching teens and kid yoga. And I really loved watching how they responded to meditation, how they responded to breath work, and even sort of the wildest kids, how they found a way to just calm and center themselves. And when I saw them leaving my yoga class and then going back home and hearing stories about how they were in the classroom, it really resonated. And then I sort of fell out of love with teaching and the school system and whatnot. So I went into coaching, and I was coaching primarily women dealing with generational trauma, anxiety, and that sort of thing. And then the pandemic hit, and I just kept looking back. And, I'm always called back to kids. I'm a mom of two. And I just kept looking at how the kids were kind of getting, just negated within the whole lockdown, and I just kept thinking at home, people, their lives are turned upside down. They're working from home, their kids are home, money's short, and no one's talking about how our kids are dealing with it. And I hate the term unprecedented times, but it really is, right? So, our, parents are at home without the skill set of how to deal with what's going on with their kids, because it's new for them as well. None of us have ever been through a lockdown. So it was really interesting for me to watch. And then earlier this year in the US, they said that, children's mental health was now a national crisis. And I just thought this is an issue that's going to be going into, their adulthood. And the depression rates were up, anxiety was up. And I just thought, we need to be looking at how we can help our kids now. So I shifted from helping people heal their trauma and anxiety in their adulthood and to how can we help our kids. And it starts in the home, really, because even if you go to therapy, it's only once a week. And if that's all you're doing, it's just not enough to help your kids do it. So I'm really enjoying educating teachers and families how to help their kids deal with the world we're in now.
That's so cool. I love that you said it starts in the home because it really truly does. And it needs to be practiced like outside of the classroom. But unfortunately, it does a lot of times fall on the teachers to kind of
Mhm.
teach some of it. And I know as an adult myself, like this pandemic has definitely skyrocketed my anxiety. And it's been something I've been struggling to figure out how to deal with. Thankfully, my son is too young to understand what's going on. He doesn't really know any
Right.
different. But I know for lots of teachers and lots of parents out there, it's a struggle too. So, what do you suggest is a simple step for them to start with?
I think it starts with connection. I think especially, first of all, like I just have so much respect for any teacher in the times we're in, but especially online teachers, because you have a screen and you have kids, and you're trying to connect with them in a whole new way. So I think that's really to be admired, and stick with it, because we need teachers out there. But my recommendation is just find ways to connect with the kids, at a heart level. Find ways. And like you said, it does begin in the home, but a lot of homes aren't getting it. And when I taught kindergarten, realizing that it was now my job to teach kids how to wash their hands and tie their shoes and that sort of thing. And I think it's really parallel to the online teacher as well, because you need to find a way to connect with those kids in a quick way, in an easy way, so that they know that you care more about them than just the subject that you're teaching. So even when I begin our day as a homeschool teacher, like teach my kids, we always begin with something like fun, either just a quick dance, or Simon Says, or anything like that. And then we bring it back down, and we talk about, we do two roses and a thorn. So what's gone really well for you this week, or this day, or this morning, and what's something that's sort of a challenge for you right now. And you just go around and you talk to the kids if you have the time. And then just simple breath work. It can be just as easy as just in for 3, out through 3, and just get those kids practicing breathing right into their bellies.
That's really good. Breathing into the bellies. I know when I start freaking out, it just not go into my belly. So helping to center them. So you said that heart connection. And so I love how you say that heart connection, because it's so much deeper than just, hey, how was your day? How was your weekend? It's really knowing them and knowing their hearts. Do you have I lost my train of thought. Crap. I lost it. Okay. Let's just move on.
Sure.
So you said 2 thorns and a heart and something. No, 2 roses and a thorn. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you said 2 roses and a thorn, and really connecting into the heart, as well as the belly, breathing into the bellies. Yes. I love that you can do all of those things every day, like morning meetings. You can say 2 roses and a thorn. You can practice breathing. Are there any cues that you kind of started to recognize that a kid is maybe exhibiting anxiety, and they really need you to kind of intervene and tell them to breathe, or tell them to do another strategy?
Kids are interesting because they don't show anxiety as we present it in adulthood. It can start with this tummy ache. You hear a lot of kids saying, "Oh, I have a tummy ache today." Distraction, fidgeting. A lot of fidgeting is actually just anxiety, and they're just like moving their bodies to try and move through it, because their bodies are actually in fight or flight as they're sitting there. Headaches as well, is also a sign of anxiety in kids. So you just have to, my suggestion whenever I work with teachers or parents is listen to the kids, listen to what they're telling you. And tummy aches aren't always just a way to get out of class, right? There's a reason that's happening. If they're fidgeting, maybe you can create, or make sure they have something that they can fidget with, because sometimes that just helps them just center themselves a little bit more. And, it just really comes back to when I said heart-centered, it's, I'm a really firm believer in emotional intelligence, and that should be, a core subject that we're teaching, because most kids know like the happy, sad kind of thing, but it's all the in between, right? And it's really confusing for them. And they're trying to process, and their brains aren't developed the way adult brains are. And sorry, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. So as they're thinking, they're not thinking as we do, right? So they're almost in a survival sense all the time. So they're trying to make sense of really complex feelings, especially the ones we've had in the last couple of years, right? Where they can't see their friends, they can't do their sports, they can't live the way that they've experienced life. So they don't have the words to do it. So their bodies are absorbing those feelings. So it's trying to find a way to get them to express that. So they're saying, "Oh, I have a stomach ache." Well, what's happening in your tummy? How does it feel? And get them to talk about it. They'll say things like maybe they feel worried, or they feel whatever, and just getting them to develop a language around what it is that they are trying to express, or their bodies are trying to express.
That's so good. Like the butterflies in the stomach. I like, if you don't know that you can call it a butterfly, it's my stomach hurts. I don't like it. That's so good.
Right.
I love that. That's something I never thought about.
Right. And I'm a big fan of bilateral movements as well. Like when you're working with kids, and when I was in the classroom, we always would do like silly dances where you're like crossing over on your body. So you're taking your left hand and putting it over to your right side and vice versa, and slapping your opposite knees, because then that's bridging your left and right hemisphere. And so it's creating a calmness in their body, and taking again like out of the fight or flight mode, and bringing them back into their body a bit more. And
That's
it's
so
fun,
simple.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Just
It's
fun,
goofy.
simple ways.
It
Yeah,
gets them
totally.
moving. And that's something
Hmm.
they could do during testing season. They're expected to sit and take a test, and it's stressful. And that's
Right.
something they can totally do at
Yeah.
their desk and not bother anybody.
Yeah,
That's so good.
totally. And simple things like other breath meditations that I really, especially this time of year, is imagine you're holding a cup of cocoa, and so they can all be holding their cup, and they can feel the warmth on their hand, and then they're going to see the steam rising up, and they're going to smell it in, breathe in the chocolate, and blow out the steam. And that's always a good one with the little kids, because they like to envision that hot cocoa. So, and you can do all sorts of fun things. You're like, we're going to make it now, and they want to add their marshmallows, and they want to do all that visualization. So I know like your time is really pressured when you're doing online as well, but it's just finding little ways to interject and connect with the kids.
I love that. That makes me think of my morning coffee. I love smelling it.
Yeah,
I love sitting with the
right.
warmth in my hand.
Yeah.
I think I'm, making that connection like, hey, that might calm me down too. Because
Yeah,
I hate
right.
mornings. I'm a night person.
Yeah.
In the morning, that morning coffee just helps. I don't know.
Yeah, it's life.
It is. That's so good. That's really good. So, are you a counselor or anything like that? No, right?
No, I never did my formal counseling training, but I
Mhm.
have my cognitive behavioral techniques certification. I I always had, my door was always open in this classroom, so I was always sort of the unlicensed counselor that people would just come in and just want to chat and stuff. So yeah, I like that.
And
Yeah.
you work with clients and your own kiddos, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So
So I've had anxiety for years, but growing up, it was called, you're shy, and you're just a perfectionist, or you're this or that. And it wasn't ever labeled anything other than that. I just thought I was, just shy. I was that's who I am. I'm shy, but it wasn't shy. It was anxiety, and it was a lot of perfectionism, which was correct, but I never had any tools around it. So when I started seeing my son develop it, I was like, no way, because I practiced, gentle parenting and attachment parenting. But it's generational, and it's hereditary, and they pick up on little things, like they see you kind of gnawing at your fingers, or they see you stressing out or freaking out about something. And so even if you're parenting in a certain way, they're still absorbing that. So they're seeing it, it's part of what they do. And I've even seen with other teachers, the kids picking up the teaching habit, of stress and anxiety. So it's part of life. And I think it's really important that we're teaching our kids these things, just so that they can head into adulthood with the skills, like since my kids were little, we've done lots of affirmations, since they could talk. We did, I am brave, I am powerful, I am strong, and especially with my little daughter who's 6 now, she needs those. And so when she's in a moment, of feeling fear or feeling shy or any of those things, I'll say, what do you need to say to yourself? I'll say, I am strong. And I'll say, pardon? She's like, I am strong, but so then she says, I am strong, I am powerful, I am brave. Or just the other day, she had just a playground session, and two of the little girls started fighting, and she just said, Mommy, my stomach's sore. And I said, well, what can we do? She's like, I think I need to sit and breathe. So kids are little sponges, and if you give them the tools and you give them the right way to practice it, that when they do need it, they can draw upon that and use it in the right way. So that for me is really rewarding to see.
yeah, that must have been a proud mom
Yeah.
moment right there. I need to sit and
Yeah, it
breathe.
was
I would have been so proud.
good. Totally. It's very good. I always laugh when they say, I think I need to meditate, because they just like to strike the pose. But it's all part and parcel. So it's good.
Yeah, so good. So you've
Yeah.
given us a ton of techniques. Do you have
Hmm.
a favorite strategy that you use that you find yourself always going back to?
I'm really, I love books. I love, different things. I do bubble blowing, with some of my clients, but really just simple. I'm a big fan of keep it simple. And I think just the easy breath work, just sitting and breathing, is the easiest, quickest way for kids to get back into their body, reconnect to their work, and focus again. So, just those really easy techniques. You can do all sorts of things. If you want to expand more, I really like the 5 4 3 2 1. 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can smell. Now I'm going to mess it up. 3 things you can smell. 2 things. I've completely messed it up. But it's a 5 senses meditation. Is really good as well. Just whatever works for you, and just find ways to connect. And that's my big message for the teachers out there, is just, that's how you're going to get through to your kids the most, because you can't, especially kids that are having a rough time, if they can't trust you or they can't connect with you at a deeper level, you're never going to get them to sit and learn their times tables.
Right. So good. That connection, it comes back to everything. And the screen has made it so much harder. I love that. I love those quick and easy ways. All right, Niki, this was so good. Tell everybody where they can find you online.
I'm everywhere at Kids Anxiety Solutions, all one word, on Instagram. I do lots of the techniques I talked today. I do demonstrations on my reels, so you can come check me out there. It's just Kids Anxiety Solutions, one word. I'm also on TikTok at Kids Anxiety Solutions. You can find me on Facebook, or, pretty much anywhere these days. Kids Anxiety Solutions.
All right. Excellent. Thank you so much, Niki, for coming on the show, and hopefully we will see you again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks. Well, there you have it. I hope you loved this episode as much as I loved filming it. I still chat with Niki all the time. She gives great content. She has great thoughts and ideas. And I hope that you have found a way to help identify anxiety in your own children or in your online learners, and that you have ways now of coping with them that are brand new, or just even helping, those moments of anxiety. And if you want to get started teaching online as well, I have a free guide for you that will walk you through the first 3 decisions you need to make. Head on over to onlineteacherallyson.com/get started, and you'll get instant access to the free guide, and you'll walk through how to decide who to teach, what to teach, and where to teach it. And I can't wait to watch you bloom on your journey as well. As always, if you need anything, give me a holler. Cheering for you always. Bye.